Okay, so let's talk about custom hooks today. So for those who just want to learn it, I can give you an easiest example. What are the custom hooks? So hooks are basically functions that are present to solve some sort of problems or provide some sort of functionalities. Like in use state hook is used to manage the state of component inside the component within the component, and some like use navigation used to navigate around the application, and much other hooks like these use factory used to render on dependency or not under the effect of dependency. But today we are going to talk about custom hooks. So if you are using custom hooks, so custom hooks is user defined functionality, user defined hooks. Let's understand with the example of hook which allows users to increment a value. Okay, so what are we gonna do is let me create a file, increment, use increment. Okay, let's create a folder structure, folks, use increment. All right, so now we are in our use increment, but we are going to, so now we are in our use increment hook and we have to define it. Let's do it. I'm gonna remove the GXS part as we no longer need it. I'm gonna take two parameters. One will be the initial value, and other will be the step. But I mean, like, uh, how much steps it takes on each iteration. All right. Okay. So that we are just doing, we are getting use state const value, set value, use state, initial value. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I will set the value, take the parameter previous value plus step. Okay. And what I am returning is, let's say wrap this up in a function const increment. Okay. And in the that we are sending value as well as increments. All right. Okay. And in this page, I'm using use state to const value, set value, use state, sorry, use increment as our newly described hook. Initial value will be 0 and step will be 2. Okay, so on button click, button, on button click, I'm gonna use that function. So I have used set value and set value as in case of, like, you guys may be familiar with use state, so that's why I use these two variables and functions called, and they seem familiar. So it's appropriate to use a better function called like increment. I'm gonna do that at the end. So right now, just let it, because these two are what we are returning here, value and increment. Value and set value, we can also name this as an increment because it's coming from the use increment hook. And let's see, I will say increment, okay, by increment. Okay, increment, and I will, also display the value here. Right now the value is 0 as we described here, and step is 2, so it will go to 2, 4, 6, 8. All right. What if we add like 12? Let's refresh it. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. So that's was a simple implementation of using hooks of your own, like for your own defined custom functions. What I was saying is let change it to increment, change it to increment, and check that again. All right. So let me like explain again what's going on here. So first we created a use increment hook with the function of that hook was to just increment a value by a defined custom number of steps. So in this value we are just giving initial value and step to the hook, and we are setting the value as initial value so that it might not crash, and in set value we are just incrementing the value by the number of steps and then returning the value, and these two attributes will be same as we are using in use increment and value increment in custom hooks. Okay, and we are displaying the value here, and the button on button click we are gonna trigger increment function will go into that, and we will get the steps, just these steps will be run. Okay, so that's all. Thank you so much. Have a good day.